Let me just take one moment. My name is Michael Langford, and I'm an alumnus of Morris Brown College, class of 1980. And I want to thank you for your presence here tonight. We have some information that we're going to share with you, some of it verbally, and some of it in handouts that we're going to share. And as we move forward, as I shared and mentioned in the prayer, why do we come tonight? Because this is sacred ground. This is holy ground. This is sacred ground. Years ago, and I want to share with you on October the 15th, 1885, just 20 years after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, 107 students and 9 teachers walked into this institution that is known as Morris Brown College. An institution that was formed by African Americans who were fresh out of slavery. And that's why we must stand today. That's why we must let folk know to take your hands off of Morris Brown. Now let me tell you one thing tonight. I don't have a problem with them building a stadium.
That's right.
I don't actually have a problem with Friendship selling this property. But I do have a problem when you interfere with Morris Brown's ability to restore and revive itself. So that's what this night is about tonight. So as you come tonight, you're going to have some speakers coming to you, going to share some information with you, and we will have some handouts that you can share with more directions on what you can do. But thank you for your presence here tonight. At this time, I'm going to preside. There are a couple of speakers that we'll have to come up. But our purpose here tonight, I don't want nobody to leave here misguided. We believe in Morris Brown's ability to be restored and to survive. We're here tonight in support of dear old Morris Brown College. Make sure that people understand that. And we say to those, we've heard that there are some plans and attempts to take these towers and the parking lot across the street to include them as part of a deal to build the new stadium. Again, I don't have a problem with that, but I say shame on anybody. And I say to you, our history, our legacy is not for sale. So we will fight to the bitter end to ensure that Morris Brown College is restored to greatness. Because the fight does not end here tonight. This is just the beginning. Many of those in the alumni, some you will hear from, has been fighting for many years and will continue to fight. What we're going to do, and we're honored to have many supporters who are friends of Morris Brown College. At this time, we're going to ask Brother Chuck Barlow, Brother Chuck Barlow, if he would make his way, who is an alumni of Morris Brown College. I saw Chuck right down front a few minutes ago. Oh, right beside me. Chuck will come and give us some comments at this time. Let's give Chuck a hand as he comes.
Thank you, Michael. My name is Chuck Barlow, Sr. I'm a 1967 graduate of Morris Brown College. I also served as the president of the National Alumni Association of Morris Brown College and served on the trustee board, as well as served as a loan executive to Morris Brown under 4 presidents. The reason I'm here today is somebody asked earlier, why are we here today and what is it that we're supposed to accomplish? I want to answer a big question that you should have in your mind once you've looked at the information that you've been handed. Why would Clark Atlanta University, why would Friendship Baptist Church, and why would the mayor of Atlanta destroy an institution like Morris Brown College? Let me read a letter to you from our mayor. Listen, I want you to listen to this letter, and I want you to ask yourself a question. What happened? What changed? Greetings. As mayor of Atlanta, I am pleased to welcome Morris Brown College, the Morris Brown College National Alumni Association, and other distinguished faculty, alumni, friends, and guests as you host this 3rd annual Tower of Strength Gala. Since its inception, Morris Brown College has been committed to promoting excellence in education through professional development, community service, and scholarship. The dedication of Morris Brown College National Alumni Association ensures that the institution continues its commitment to educating students and preparing future leaders. Your diligence and devotion to promoting excellence in leadership, community empowerment, and networking awareness enriches the lives of our students and ignites their desires to become involved in our community. We salute your efforts and endeavors to mold and support our future leaders. On behalf of the people of Atlanta, I wish you a memorable and remarkable event. Sincerely, Kasim Reed, Mayor of Atlanta. This was written to Morris Brown College in October 2010. Now, that reflects on what you just heard about the history of Morris Brown, the only historical black college in the state of Georgia founded by blacks, for blacks, ex-slaves. So if he believed in Morris Brown then, what happened? Let me tell you what happened. And let me give it to you from a scriptural perspective. 1 Timothy 6:17. Command those who are rich in this present age not to be haughty, nor to trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God. And Proverbs 3:9. Honor the Lord with your possessions. You cannot serve God and money. Matthew 6:24. Never let gold become your God. Think about this. The graduation rate for black males in the state of Georgia is under 50%. That means over 50% of our black males are dropping out. In the city of Atlanta schools, Fulton County schools, Cobb County schools, if you name all the counties in the state of Georgia, the graduation rate of black males fraternity brothers. I saw some people who actually worked at Morris Brown, but I don't believe that the members of Friendship even know what happened behind the scenes. They said they're going to have a meeting Saturday to discuss, and they said the media is putting out all kind of lies about what's going on. You really don't know what's going on. Well, the document you have in your hand tells you what's going on. And they're going to vote on Sunday. On Sunday, they're going to take a vote on whether to accept that deal or not. We need to make sure that we visit Friendship. I already made my visit. I can't be there Sunday because I'm having family reunion. But you need to be sitting there in the seats to let them know, hands off Morris Brown. 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 My friends, let me tell you, Chuck was very accurate. We're going to have more information coming to you. You have some in writing, and there's some that we'll share. I want you to know by no means is this fight over. This is just the beginning. So some of those thought that Morris Brown was a sleeping giant, but that's not the case. We're going to move right along. Our next speaker we're going to ask to come is the sister who is the secretary for the National Alumni Association, Sister Tyra Ellis. If you would come, let's give Tyra a hand as she comes. Tyra is the secretary for the National Alumni Association.
Hello, everybody. I came to the realization that has really bothered me ever since I was on the steps of Friendship Baptist Church last week with Derek, Senator Ford, and Michael Langford. Everyone knows how much power and press the media has in shaping the news and how the choice of stories and the words they use influence the listeners and readers alike. That's right. It simply amazed me how they could choose not to air what the conference was really about. The church had, not the church, but the media, they had no substance and was clearly off the mark. So right now, I'm here to talk to you, media. You scare me. Hey. You scare me because there's so many people who bring Americans the news every day. And for you to be so deceitful and so delusional when you are creating the American public's opinion. You sat there and smiled in our face and tried to set me up to ask me a question about the sale of the Morris Brown College towers when we didn't even know about it until you revealed it to us. I'm talking to you, media. How dare you? I'm addressing the media because you flat out lied. You stated that the key alumni of bankrupt Morris Brown flat out lashed out Friday at the plans to sell off the school's towers as part of the stadium deal. That question was asked to me and nobody else. And you know what I said? What? I looked at him when he asked me how did I feel about the sale of the towers, which he just had revealed to me. I said, whatever decision that we make on behalf of Morris Brown College, I'm in full support of it because whatever decision we make, we're making for our college. So media, I'm telling you, and I know this won't be aired because they deciphered every piece of information that Senator Fort had said in the camera. Jim Strickland, I'm talking to you, Channel 2 Action News investigator Jim Strickland. Your level of distaste and insensitivity crossed the line. The manipulation of the public opinion is of great importance. And apparently it's great importance to the city of Atlanta and to the media. So my question to you, media, is who's oil in your pockets? Thank you.
And the next day it will be Morehouse. We know, lastly, Morris Brown was the only college, as Brother Michael alluded to, that was built for us, by us, with our money. Now we know that it was funded by the African Methodist Episcopal Church. But let us not forget that Clark Atlanta University was funded by the United Methodist Church. Let us not forget that Morehouse and Spelman were funded and born by the Baptist Church. So is the churches with us or is the churches against us? And so I ask you all today, what are we here? We're not here to just pray. We are here to protest, in the words of Derek Bozeman. The prefix is pro. That means we for something. But let's not forget the end of it, Brother Walker, test. And are we going to pass the test standing together, or are we going to fail the test falling for the okie doke? Hands off! Morris Brown! Hands off! Morris Brown!
Morris Brown! Thank you, Brother Doug. At this time, my friends, we're going to move right along because we have some powerful information for you. 2 powerful speakers, or at least 3 you need to hear. At this time, I want to bring forward the People's Senator, a man who's willing to stand in the gap and fight for the least of these, my friend, Senator Vincent Fort. Let's give him a hand.
Good evening. I did not attend Morris Brown as a student. I taught at Morris Brown. And I see some of my students here today. And when I taught those young people, I told them that it was their duty as black people, as students, to stand up for what was right. And I'm here to say that I could do no less and you could do no less. We've got to stand up for right and against evil. And what's going on with Morris Brown and the land grab that's being orchestrated by Arthur Blank, by Nathan Deal, and Kasim Reed is evil. So we have to stand for what's right. Y'all saw the literature. I hope all of y'all got, or at least had a chance to look at the literature we passed out. See, one of the things that sometimes they'll try to tell you is you're just going on emotion and you don't know the facts, you don't know the details. But let me tell you something, we got the facts. We got the details. We know as much as Arthur Blank knows. And if you look at this piece of literature, I'm going to explain it to you very quickly what's going on. Okay, go ahead. Morris Brown had a $20 million deal to offset its liabilities, to come out of bankruptcy. $20 million deal. And guess what? The people they had to deal with done left the table. Now, people don't leave the table just because they get tired. They leave the table when somebody interferes with the deal. And we know through our documentation that City Hall got in the deal. You know, I'm gonna tell you a term that you may not have heard, a legal term. It's called tortious interference. I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a lowly teacher. But there's this thing called tortious interference. When you work in a deal with a second party, a third party come around, it interferes with the deal. That's called tortious interference. And what we know is that City Hall got in the deal and took the got the $20 million taken off the table. And then they put up a deal that said to Morris Brown, give us your 40 acres. Give us your 40 acres. They said, keep the mule, but we want the 40 acres. Give us that 40 acres to the city of Atlanta and Invest Atlanta. Guess who you think gonna get that 40 acres? It ain't gonna be Morris Brown. It's gonna go to the folk downtown with the big money. So they're gonna take the 40 acres. And then they said, Morris Brown, what we'll do is let you lease. We'll let you lease 6 acres for 3 years. After that, we don't know what we'll do with you, but we'll let you rent 6 acres for 3 years. For $175,000 a year. And then you may have to leave out, go somewhere. And then finally, they told Friendship, we'll let you have these towers. We'll let you have these towers to use for your sanctuary. Although Friendship Towers next door and the Friendship Apartments are owned by Friendship Baptist Church. Use that property. Keep your hands off Morris Brown. Hands off Morris Brown. So that's where we are today. At an institution where great men and great women have walked. Jose Williams, Beverly Harvard, first African-American female police chief of the city of Atlanta. So many others, Henry McNeil Turner. Walk these streets, walk these sidewalks. W.E.B. Du Bois, our greatest thinker and activist, had his office over here at Fountain Hall in the top floor. What would they say if they saw what was going on here?
Shame on you.
They'd say shame, shame, shame. The question we're going to have to ask some folk in this town, we're going to have to ask some folk at City Hall on the 2nd floor. What is your legacy going to be? What is your legacy that you're going to tell your children about? That I helped to build a billionaire stadium so millionaires could run around on Sunday afternoon, 8 Sundays a year? Is that going to be your legacy?
That's the 3rd state.
Is your legacy going to be that you helped to destroy a black institution like Morris Brown? Is that going to be your legacy? Or are you going to uplift black children and give them an education? That's the question here. The defining moment, even as we stand here. Which side are you on? Are you on the side of Morris Brown? Or are you on the side of Arthur Blank? That's the question, and that's why I say, as I close, hands off. Hands off. Hands off. I didn't hear you say it one more time. So Arthur Blank will hear it. So Kasim Reed will hear it. So Nathan Deal can hear it. Hands off. God bless you.
All right, our friend, State Senator Vincent Fort. At this time, my friends, while you're listening, please keep those letters you have. But if you didn't get it all there, we got the man coming forward who has too much truth. Too much truth. My dear friend and alumnus of Morris Brown College, a man who I've come to love and admire and appreciate and respect. He's my leader. He's a man who I will go in the trenches with any day of the week. So we want to thank him for his presence. Let's give him a hand for the work he do. Brother Derek Bozeman, the voice of Too Much Truth.
Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Oh, I didn't come looking for a fight, but I'm not running from one either. Let me tell you this. They tell you unequivocally that truth is power. Well, the day I came bearing some truth. Let the chips fall where they may. In politics, I served on the Atlanta City Council, so I understand what they do at City Hall. I'm here to let the chips fall where they may and tell the truth and shame the devil. In 1881, sitting down at a little small rickety raggedy table in the basement of Big Bethel AME Church, some young courageous men and women less than 20 years up from slavery sit around that table, and they decided that with the help of Almighty God and what little pennies they had in their pockets, that they would build an institution for the better making of men and women. They didn't have millions of dollars. They didn't have any backing. All they had was Almighty God on their side. They said that we don't want to furnish a room at Clark when we can build an institution called Morris Brown College. It is in their spirit that we come today. It is in their spirit that we speak truth to power, because somebody has to do it. Dr. King said it, that our lives begin to end on the day that we become silent on things that matter. I think that Morris Brown matters. I think that Morris Brown deserve a chance to come out of bankruptcy. I think this institution that produced somebody just like me deserves an opportunity to keep on producing leaders who are strong, bold, uncompromising, and not scared of anything but God. And so I was sitting down the other day. I have the faith of my ancestors. I believe that God can do all things but fail. And even though I wanted to keep my mouth shut, because the fact of the matter is, sometimes you just get sick and tired, as Fannie Lou Hamer, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then somebody called me and said, do you know what's happening in this stadium deal as it relates to Morris Brown? I said, no, but I'm willing to listen. They said, I've come across a few documents which seem to suggest there are some backroom deals being cut that includes the property that is Morris Brown. Now, let me make one thing very clear. I don't have no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. And I bleed purple and black. And so I don't care if it's the enemy within or the enemy without. Today we call him out. I have in my hand a confidential memo. It says confidential, and at the bottom it says do not copy nor distribute. And my name is not one of them on here. What a friend we have in Jesus. I got a few friends, and some of them are over at Friendship Baptist Church, who want me to know what really is going on. In this confidential memo, it talks about the bankruptcy proceeding. You've heard this lie that City of Atlanta and its mayor came over to Morris Brown to offer them a deal. Well, here's the deal that they offered them. We want to buy all, let me get it right, according to the confidential memo. We want to buy 37.22 acres. That's what a decimal point. Which does not include Jordan Hall, is what the confidential memo says. And it says, we want to buy it and own it completely. This is the City of Atlanta's memo. This came from the mayor's office. And the dollar amounts on here, they want to pay 4.7, let me take my glasses off so I can see the number right. 4.729. And that's going to pay for the secured claims. That's to pay off the debtors. So that's 4.7. Then they're going to pay a percentage of discount to the priority claim, $62,000. And then they're going to pay to the unsecured claims against Morris Brown, $744,000. Now that don't add up to no $10 million. But they told you that's what they want to buy it for. They want to buy all the 37 acres of Morris Brown, and then they said we might turn around and lease some of it back to you. Now, I don't think that's trying to help Morris Brown. At the same time, Morris Brown is sitting actively in the bankruptcy court trying to buy back all of the assets of Morris Brown. So in comes the city, because they cut a deal with Friendship Baptist Church that not only would they pay them $19.5 million, they would give them this property that the tower sit on and the property across the street that all them cars are parked on. How in the hell can you make a deal for Morris Brown property when you don't own Morris Brown property? How How can friendship, our friends, and supposed to be a moral center of the community, sit down and cut that kind of deal and not come tell the people and the people of Morris Brown? What kind of friend is that? It don't stop there. And some more documents that I got. What a friend we have in who? Let me read you what the church people said.
Tell the truth.
Morris Brown shall be obligated to use his diligent good faith efforts to obtain the approval of such sale without the necessity of competitive auction. Provided, however, if the bankruptcy court requires a competitive auction, listen to this, the definitive agreement will require Morris Brown to negotiate exclusively with Friendship Baptist Church with the intent and purpose that Statco will be designated by the bankruptcy court as the stalking horse bidder for the Morris Brown replacement sanctuary site. As the stalking horse bidder, the definitive agreement will provide that Statco shall be entitled to submit a stalking horse contract, and the Statco may require that the protections customarily afforded to a stalking horse bidder. And to those ends, Statco may require that Morris Brown take all reasonable and necessary steps to cause the bankruptcy court to enter into an order satisfactory to Statco and at its sole discretion, setting out the bidding procedure to be followed in the auction and covering each such additional matters as the minimum overbid amount, topping fees, standby fees, and termination fees, expense reimbursement. So what they said is, look, if Morris Brown can't get it together, then you deal exclusively with us, the church. Don't get the best deal you can get, deal with us. Give it to us. Let's go on to the next document. The United States Bankruptcy Northern District of Georgia. This was filed, this is a public document, so you don't have to have friends to get this one. You can get this one offline yourself. There's a period of exclusivity in bankruptcy where only the debtor can enter into an agreement with the bankruptcy court. Statco and Valstone, which owns the debt for Morris Brown, they said we gotta, y'all remember that August 1st day, that August 1st? What was supposed to happen on August 1st? All the negotiations with the church was supposed to be over and the deal was supposed to be inked. The deadline, the atomic bomb in terms of whether the stadium is gonna be located here or up the street. Well, when the people who hold the debt to Morris Brown saw that date emerging, they went to bankruptcy court and said, we wanna file a brief to stop the exclusive period for Morris Brown, which would have ran to August 27th. Why they want to get the deal cut before August 27th? Because Arthur Blank done told them, look, we tired of y'all shenanigans, we're going up the street.
Let him go.
So he went and said, look, we want to end that now. We want to be able to negotiate with Friendship for the sale of this property. Let me say this and then I'm done. Morris Brown had already entered agreement with FD Corporation for $20 million. That would have paid off all of the debt of the school, paid every creditor, paid every debt off. It would have reacquired Jordan Hall and a piece of the stadium that went into foreclosure. Everybody agreed. Valstone, the holder of the debt, agreed, as well as FD Corporation agreed, as well as the folks here at Morris Brown. They went into bankruptcy court on the first order with FD Corporation, everybody in agreement. Less than a week later, after a press conference held by the mayor, less than a week later, after a press conference held by the mayor saying we have reached an agreement, all of a sudden FD Corporation disappears and said we don't want to be bothered with that deal anymore. What do you think happened in a matter of just a few days? What do you think happened in a matter of just a few days? Well, apparently FD Corporation has to file an answer to tell us.
Okay.
And we're going to be waiting.
Hey!
But what we do know happened, there was some collusion going on. That was somebody told FD Corporation, we want the property. So what Valstone did, they called the FD Corporation and said, we don't want to deal with you on the Towers property in Jordan Hall, no, in the parking lot across the street. We want to deal with another entity. What entity do you think they wanted to deal with?
Friendship.
What a friend we have in Jesus. Because apparently we ain't got many friends over at Friendship.
Judas.
Now I asked Friendship Chairman, Brother Hawk, to come tonight. Is he here, Brother Hawk? Because we do want to give him the microphone to speak if he is here. But let me just say this. Let me say this and then I'm done. And we're going to pray and sing the alma mater and go home. We got something to fight for. We're standing in the spirit of our ancestors. We're standing on the words of Bishop Henry McNeil Turner. We're standing on the words of John Wesley Gaines. We're standing on the words of those teachers who came and taught for nothing back in the 30s, the 20s, the 40s, the 50s. We're standing on the promise of God. Now, God can't use no coward soldier. He can't use nobody who's too scared to speak up, stand up, talk up, walk up, or step up. Now, I'm going to tell you two things that I plan on doing. Grandmama Bozeman used to sing in the old church, a charge to keep our hair. Well, on Sunday morning, there's going to be a vote at Friendship Baptist Church. If you want to follow me, I'm going to come kneel on the steps of Middleton Complex first. Then I'm going to get up with the best purple outfit I can find. I may go find me a full purple suit. I'm going to get up off the steps of Morris Brown and I'm going to march right on up like I'm marching to Zion over to Friendship Baptist Church, just to remind them that God is on the side of the oppressed, or he ain't God at all. That your 30 pieces of silver is not going to purchase what God has planted down. That what you plan for evil, that God plans for good, and that Morris Brown will emerge yet again. I love when you count us out. I love when you count us out. Think we're not going to make it. We've been here 10, 11 years with not one dime from the federal government, because what the government didn't understand, that God is the source of our supply. And if God be for you, who can be against you and win? How many of y'all going to go to church with me on Sunday to Friendship Baptist Church? Raise your hand. We're not going to be disruptive. We're not going to stop the vote. We're just going to let them know that if God be on your side, though it may seem dark sometimes, if God be on your side, it may seem like it's all lost, but 1 plus God is the majority. And so we're going to go and pray. I'm not going to tell y'all what I'm going to pray. I'm not such a good Christian. I'm getting better at it. The prayer I pray may not be a good one according to some of y'all. But on Sunday, we're coming here. I think service started at 10 o'clock. We'll let you know. But then we're going straight over there in the spirit of Queen Esther. If I perish, then let me perish. But I'm going to see the King. I'm coming on kingdom business. And I ain't coming weak, punctified. I'm coming strong. I'm bringing everything I know. Are there any prayer warriors out here in this crowd tonight? How many of y'all know that prayer changes things? Prayer changes people. And so if we can just do like our ancestors did, all they had was what little bit they had, but God will multiply it and make it much if you put a little bit in the master's hand. So again, we appeal to the mayor's office, to Arthur Blank, to the Friendship leadership. Hands off Morris Brown. Leave us alone. If you want a new stadium, so be it. But isn't it a sad thing when a city as brave as Atlanta, that gave us Dr. King and gave us Hosea Williams and gave us folks like Andy Young in leadership, that they would not even speak up for Morris Brown? But I'm here to let you know that God is doing a new thing. He don't need no big names. All he need is big faith. And if you but had the faith for the size of a mustard seed, you can say mountain be moved. You can say friendship be moved. You can say stadium deal be dead. Y'all didn't hear me. I said you can say stadium deal be dead. And it has to move. When we can give $200 million of taxpayers' money to a billionaire to allow millionaires to play a game that little boys play for free. Yet we won't invest one dime into an institution with 130 years worth of solid history of turning out young great minds, young great women, young great men. We'll give Arthur Blank $200 million, and some would even suggest when the price tag is over $400 million. And somehow God is supposed to be pleased with that. I'm here to tell you that governments change. God will pull down strongholds. All you got to do is be willing to fight. How many of y'all are ready to fight? I said, how many of you are ready to fight? Are you ready to fight for Morris Brown? Are you ready to do whatever is necessary? Again, brothers and sisters, don't be fooled. Don't believe the hype. When I tell you I got over 100 and some documents that prove anything that I say, I'm willing to back up. And I ain't one of these scared to death Negroes that most folks in this town are used to. I'm not apologizing. I'm not backing down, backing off, or backing up. I'm going one direction, and that's straight ahead. And whoever get in the way, we just roll them over and show them. That's the fighting Wolverine spirit. And so, brothers and sisters, how many are going to stand with us? How many are going to stand with us? God bless you and God keep you, and let know with a surety that the enemy desires to sift us like wheat. But we were born for a day such as this, to stand in truth. And I say to Friendship Baptist Church, we're not mad at the church. Get as much as you can get, but don't be so greedy that you got your own tower that's raggedy in front of us. You got a raggedy tower too. Tear that down. Build on it. You got some raggedy apartments that you need to tear down. My dorm room is that first window you see right here above this sign, room 204. Right there. And by God's grace, I will come and stay again on this campus, on the new Morris Brown. I believe the doors will swing open again on welcome hinges. I'm crazy enough to believe that God can do it for us. All he requires is us to do our part. And we're committed and ready for the task. God bless you and God keep you. And by all means, as I said, I'm going to fight till hell freeze over. And then I'm going to fight on the ice for Morris Brown. God bless you and God keep you.